That was
This
amazing.
is 9th grade year. Y'all have heard me talk about these teachers that instilled in us, that pushed us, that got us where we needed to be. So we knew in 8th grade we had left Christy Montgomery and Marcus, then we left them behind. So we had to learn these new teachers in high school. And one thing, given that we were a F district at the time, high school was different for us because the teachers changed a lot. They changed a whole lot. Mm-hmm. So Adam came in our life 9th grade. Like, you had those people that wanted to know him. You had those people that tried to test him to his limit to find out who he was. But he came in talking knowledge that we had never heard of at that age. He came in telling us, like, y'all can be something if you do this. Even though, you know, y'all probably didn't eat yesterday, or even though y'all sleeping on the floor at your mom's house, y'all can come out of that. So 9th grade year, after he came into a lot of our lives, like a lot changed for the good and the bad. Like I said, those who did not understand what he was trying to do had that wall up where they couldn't really see through to what he was trying to do. They wouldn't let it down or really get that. But you had people like, you know, me, Kadarius Parker, Shanice Wimsatt, Charles Collins, Tanaska, Akil Washington. We saw what he was trying to do. Like, we knew that, okay, this a new teacher. He say he from Canton, Mississippi, but like, we from Goodman, we from Pickens. Like, what he gonna do for us right up the street? That's how we felt, because even though Holmes County was small, Jackson, we had to go there for doctor's appointments. We had to go, like, that was common for us. So we were like, okay, he was right up the street. Why he want to teach us? But at the same time, the teachers that had been teaching us in the past were locally family too. They were locally teachers as well. So, you know, when he came into our life, it was different. And I guess I'll solely speak for me at this point. My parents separated in 9th grade. So a lot of my act outs, I call it, I was going through that as a child. Like, my parents were separated. I didn't know what to do. So I started doing stuff for attention. I can call it that now. I got in trouble a couple of times in his class, you know, petty stuff. My first time, y'all, I just told y'all that I was scared to get in trouble with my grandma. Like, hey, my grandma didn't play that. She just was not going for that. So my first time ever getting suspended was my 10th grade year out of his class. And he was very much disappointed in me, but we'll get to that point. I said all that to say, me and my father was not on one page. Like, he's still my dad. I still loved him, but I won't speak on the situation so much. But we were just not on one page going through high school. So I looked into my father's guidance in Adam, and I did that knowing that he would guide me in the right way. He would never, and he was clear when we first had our conversation about this, that I would never take your father's place because that's your dad. And that was fine. That was good. But when I couldn't vent to my dad, or when my dad had done something that I didn't understand, or even boy related, I needed to go to him. He needed to know everything, so that if I felt like I couldn't talk to my mama, I felt like Adam was my outlet. I could go to him. So during my high school days, and he was there, like, so this is even when I wasn't even in his class anymore. When he was done teaching with me, I would go find him on his planning periods and just vent. I don't care if I just wasn't feeling something that day. That was health wise, that was socially with the classmates, like teachers. If I didn't feel up to par, if I didn't feel 100%, Adam opened that door for me. And not only did he open that door for me, he opened that door for all his students. And that's what it took for us. That was it. He became a dad at that moment. Half of our third semester, 9th grade year and 10th grade year, he became our dad. He wasn't Coach Wells anymore. He wasn't Mr. Wells anymore. Like, he had to be a dad. Not only to us, he had his family at home. So I would say Adam was one of those people that really carried the school of William Sullivan on his shoulders and his kids at home, because when we called, he went running. I don't care what it was. We could be in the midnight dark and like, coach, I'm in this situation. Even if he couldn't get to us, he gave us that guidance. So I say, like, we really appreciated that. And I was one of those people that, like, I cherished that, and I couldn't lose that, because I hadn't, like I said, I needed to grow mentally as a child. I was young. I felt like I knew everything, so I wasn't trying to be open to communicate to my dad, but I needed another dad to come in and tell me, like, you know, maybe this is what he's trying to do. So I really appreciated that. And like, we'll never forget, he did small things like he talked about. He rapped on Fridays. He called us his go-getters. No other teacher in that high school wanted us to bring pictures of ourselves and put it on their wall as display in their class. Like, nobody wanted to do that. Like, why he want to do that? Nobody talked about money with us. Nobody talked about credit with us. Nobody. Me. I'm not at the time, I wasn't a history person, y'all. Not that I wasn't a history person, I didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. Even though I had read all them books at Goodman Pickens, sitting in his class, I couldn't understand, put the dots together. So I would tell him, I can't read him. He wanted us to go home and read and do assignments at night, but I couldn't. I would make the grades, but I would tell him, like, I think I just read to get my answers, but I didn't read to comprehend. Mm-hmm. And he helped me a lot with that. I feel like that was another turn in our education.